social media is filled with predators. It's an absolute fact, particularly in political speech. Some of those predators are really bad guys. On the side, was pulled from ISIS, one of the more effective ones. They used a game video to push this, and they were out there looking for anybody who expressed parts, and then immediately approached them and tried to recruit them. But ISIS is really not the major people out there anymore. The major people out on the internet is the FBI. And, 46 covered by the Freedom of Net have instituted advanced media surveillance. The United States is part of that 40 countries. And they're looking for that needle in a haystack, the person who's dangerous. And in some cases, when they're looking at the right wing, that's exactly what they're looking for, the needle. But when they're looking at Muslims, they look at it differently. This is a quote from James Comey before Congress when he was the FBI director. "We are looking for a needle in a stack of needles." In other words, he saw all Muslims as dangerous. He's looking for the most dangerous of the needles. And that reflects how they act. And this is where we have done the most of our work recently, representing individuals who are targeted online or trapped in what we believe are unconstitutional prosecutions based on their media habits. These people didn't shoot anybody. They didn't try and shoot anybody. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't do anything. And they didn't give anybody any money. What they did was talk online. And after a while, the only people they were talking to was the FBI, was trying to get them to say more and more provocative things. What we're trying to do is protect free speech, because I'm probably not telling you something you don't know, and I'm certainly not telling you something your kids don't know. And if you believe that you're being targeted or anything, the first thing you have to do is call us. And I want to talk particularly about some of the tactics that have been used against Muslim youth in recent reverts that we're seeing in line, because these are the people that they target. They don't know a lot about Islam. And like I said, they may use a false religious leader or something. They don't really know what they're talking about. They don't have the experience and wisdom. And, they're getting their education about these things online, which is not, well, you might go to college online. You don't want to learn about Islam. There are reputable places. There are also very unreputable places to learn. And an awful lot of them now are run by government agencies. It's their largest source of undercover informants, and has grown exponentially since I've been at Muslim Legal Fund of America. In the United States versus GM Petro is one of the first places where we saw and uncovered the huge quantity. Our client wasn't talking to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 undercovers. We're all approaching her at different times, trying to push her to get her to do things. When you finally meet who your internet friends are, they're all the FBI. In California case, what we learned was that the FBI is now moved from where they had traditionally waited until people are at least 18. They're now targeting children. It's hard to say whether that begins intentionally or they don't know how old the kid is, but hey, once we've targeted him, we're not going to give up on the target. That they go in, target children who are if they're online. And this is kind of the reverse. There was a lot of targeting to protect children from sexual predators online. Here, where the FBI played a child and enticed a predator. Here's the reverse. The FBI is the predator and entices a child. Twitter, public social media, almost everything is basically constantly under surveillance, and this is where they operate. And the idea is to take you from the mainstream into a private channel where we can talk. And there to separate the individual and get them to commit to a criminal act. That's the whole idea. The impact of criminalization online. Well, it's having an extraordinary part on it. These are quotes. This is what they see. What your kids think. The impact is significant. Now, my first part is I can't tell you that there aren't real predators out there either. And one of my favorite things when I was a kid, they used to run on, I don't know if it was my favorite. Actually, I didn't like it, but my parents sure paid attention to it. It asked, it's 11 o'clock at night. Do you know where your children are? When I was in my 30s, etc., the question was, do you know who your children's friends are? And you did that by inviting them over. Now the question is, do you know who your children's friends online are? In part. And that's, I would submit, for every parent, and particularly every Muslim parent, a real question mark on this. I have now dealt with multiple calls from parents who are heartbroken because the police have just shown up for their child. And they had no idea. So it is important to educate your children, to be safe on social media, to bring their religious questions to you. And if you have, or if you believe that there's somebody out there, you don't ignore them. You call us. Here's the part. They're most likely an FBI agent. And if they are an FBI agent, you know, the easiest way to make them go away, report them to the FBI. They go away. And we can help you with that. But the most important part is to be vigilant. This is the challenge. The government has spent historically $3 billion a year on the FBI's counterterrorism efforts alone. They're going to continue to spend that money. Nobody in the FBI is saying, you know what? We're out of Afghanistan. You know, Syria's wound down. ISIS has been defeated. There is no real Al-Qaeda. It's time to close up shop. Nope. Never crossed their minds. For them, they need this war to continue to go. They've got 3 billion reasons for this war to continue to go on. The truth is, there is no threat. But the need more than ever is for the Muslim community to be aware of online and to learn how to exercise free speech rights effectively. If you'd have questions on that, I'd like to talk to you about it. And, you know, I absolutely believe this. And we found this in every single case. The earlier we get involved when there's a problem, the better results we get.